Landlord attached GPS tracker to my car, without my consent or knowledge. Hello? A little background, my partner and I were getting the spare tire to my car unmounted from the bottom of the car when he discovered a circular magnetic device attached to the lip of the bumper of the car. We initially couldn't tell what it was, but after using Google Lens, we discovered that it was a Landlord tracking device. When we discovered this, we were obviously worried, but I was especially worried because I had been stalked and attacked by an ex in November of last year. Thinking it belonged to him, we filed a police report and had them find out who the owner of the tracker was. To our surprise, the tracker was purchased by our landlord of about 3 years. Apparently, he has been checking our location periodically, and the device was live when we found it. It came as a huge shock to us, because he seemed like a genuinely good person who has a family, and who even helped us install floodlights and curtains to our home after I was attacked. The police have been trying to contact him to get some answers, but he has not returned their calls. It has only been a day, though. Other than feeling unsafe in our own home, we also feel like it was a huge invasion of privacy and honestly a breach of trust. Again, our rapport with him seemed good, and he seemed like a family man, so we just want to know what the future of our housing situation is going to be. I live in Oregon, so I know that there can be a case made in criminal court. My main question is, would I be able to sue him? Sorry if this seems all over the place, but I found this all out today, and am still processing what is happening. Any advice would be much appreciated. Update. Wow, I can't believe it has been almost a year since I posted this. A lot has happened between now and then, and I could write a novel about these updates, but writing is not my strong suit, so I apologize if this update seems relatively brief. It's a long update, but a lot of things happened. So as some commenter guessed, it was my ex who assaulted me in November of 2022, who attached the GPS tracker to my car. My ex, from what I remember, used Reddit a lot, so I had to wait to give these updates. Did I mention that he was an ex that I haven't talked to in over 8 years? Anyway, the way he was caught and his behavior following being caught is absolutely unhinged. I posted this the day after the cops showed me that the GPS tracker was registered under my landlord's name, but it soon became very clear that my ex had used my landlord's identity to try and cover his tracks. And he almost got away with it. He put my landlord's name and address as the information for when you register the land, air, and sea tracker. The cops showed up to my landlord's home and essentially questioned him about the situation. Obviously, my landlord had nothing to hide, so he answered their questions, allowed them to search his wallet for any associated credit cards and his phone for any associated numbers. He obviously came up clean, and that's when the real investigating started. The tracker was linked to a track phone that my ex must have been using as a burner phone. It also requires you to make monthly payments via credit card, but he would use a prepaid Visa that had no name identity associated with it. He probably also paid cash for these prepaid cards. So all of this covering up, and you know what got him? A woman's voice. Thankfully, the police officer investigating the case took every avenue to catch him, which included setting up a mini sting operation. Since the only lead was the track phone, the officer had a female colleague call the phone number to try and bait him. The call went a little something like this. Her, hi, is this so-and-so? Him, yes, who is this? Her, this is so-and-so from blank bar. We met the other night, and you gave me your number. I just wanted to see if you wanted to hang out sometime. Him, oh yeah, I remember you. We should definitely meet up. And so on. The police believed that the recording of the call itself was enough evidence for probable cause, but they wanted to get him meeting her in person to really solidify the PC. They were texting back and forth for a while, but I think he eventually realized that it was too good to be true, and that the GPS monitor was no longer going anywhere other than the sheriff's office. He must have put 2 and 2 together and stopped. But not all hope was lost. The cop got voice verification from me, and one other person that could verify that it was his voice. He was arrested for identity theft and illegally affixing a GPS monitor to my car. Both can be considered a felony since I had a protective order against him. The process of arresting him and indicting him was no walk in the park, though. They gave him the opportunity to turn himself, instead of being arrested by an officer or being picked up. Well, when he realized the trouble he was in, he checked himself into a mental hospital, which was a loophole for him to not be taken into custody. And which meant a mountain of paperwork and work for the DA's office to get charges seen before a grand jury. My experience going through the DA's office could be a whole other thread, but I will spare you the details. The grand jury eventually indicts him on both counts, and I awaited trial. That should be the end of the story, right? Wrong. Not even 2 months after he is indicted, I see him outside my house. I was driving home from a date night with my partner, and we took a different road than we would normally take home, because we saw some cute ducks in a neighbor's yard, and it caused us to take a detour. Well, thankfully we detoured that day, because as we were about to rear the corner of the road we live on, we saw him. It was broad daylight, and he wasn't even trying to hide his identity, it seemed like. In fact, he just looked like a normal guy walking around the neighborhood. At first I thought I was just seeing things because I didn't think he would be that careless to be that close to my house after everything. He had a no-contact order against him that requires he not be within 500 feet of my home or vehicle, which he was within. As we turn the corner and I start noticing him, he notices us and immediately turns himself so his back facing us and just kind of pauses, acting like he's looking at something, probably hoping we don't notice that it's him. I tell my partner to stop the car, and when we stop he starts speed walking the opposite direction of where our car was headed. We circled back around to verify that it was him, but at that point, he had disappeared into the bushes. We slowly start to head back towards the road we live on, trying to see if we can spot him. As we keep going, he pops out of the bushes about 10 feet ahead of us, makes direct eye contact with us, and then starts sprinting up the road. We head his direction to try and get pictures of him. We are able to get 2 blurry pictures of him, but probably not enough to verify completely that it was him. I filed a police report and talked to his PO about what happened. The PO had him come in and get a GPS monitor anklet pending investigation. I also reached out to the cop that helped me with the GPS tracker and assault case. He helped me go to every neighbor's house and ask for video evidence of creepy stalker X. Some neighbors didn't answer, other places didn't have anything. But the place with the bushes? They had a picture, video of him clear as day crouching in their bushes. Needless to say, he is currently in jail facing multiple charges against him. I want to delve into more detail about the justice system and my grief with it, but for now I will just end on a positive update. Thank you to those who gave me advice and showed actual concern. To those who commented that this was an ad for Land Air Sea tracking device, piss off. I also want to acknowledge the cop who has been helping me ever since I was first attacked. He saw me right after I was assaulted in 2022 and saw how shaken up I was. He went out of his way to do a sting operation on the GPS tracker, and he went door to door to find video evidence of my stalker. I don't think the average cop would do half the work he has done, and I will be forever grateful for that.